The quantum sensors aboard the orbital defense station Artemis lit up like a Christmas tree, their warnings cascading across holographic displays in an urgent symphony of light and sound. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood motionless in the command center, her enhanced neural processors already analyzing the data before her crew could even begin to comprehend its significance. They were coming. Multiple quantum signatures detected at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, announced Lieutenant Chen, his voice steady despite the implications. Configuration matches no known human vessels. Maya's augmented eyes, capable of processing information at speeds that would overwhelm an unmodified human brain, tracked the incoming signatures. The enhancement initiative had transformed her into something beyond ordinary human limitations, but even she felt a chill at what the data revealed. How many? 732 vessels, Captain. Largest formation is approximately 3 kilometers in length. The command center fell silent. Earth's entire defense fleet numbered barely 50 ships, none larger than a kilometer. Maya's enhanced mind automatically calculated the odds. They were, by any conventional measure, impossible. But Maya Rodriguez had never put much stock in conventional measures. "Send word to Earth Defense Command," she ordered, her voice carrying the quiet authority that had made her legendary among the fleet, "and begin evacuation protocols for non-essential personnel." As her crew rushed to comply, Maya accessed her neural interface, connecting directly with the station's systems. The enhancement initiative had done more than just improve her physical capabilities. It had fundamentally changed how she processed information. Where others saw raw data, she saw patterns, possibilities, opportunities. The approaching fleet's formation told her everything she needed to know about their creators. The aliens were methodical, precise, their ships arranged in perfect geometric patterns that spoke of a civilization built on mathematical certainty. They'd likely never faced an enemy that could process battlefield dynamics at the speed Maya could, never encountered a human mind enhanced to operate at the very edge of what physics would allow. "Captain," Lieutenant Chen interrupted her analysis, "we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel." The holographic display shimmed, resolving into a figure that challenged Maya's enhanced perception. The alien commander appeared almost crystalline, its form suggesting silicon-based biology. When it spoke, its words were translated by the station's AI in real time. "We are the Vraxian Collective. Your species has been evaluated and found insufficient. Surrender your resources and accept integration into our hierarchy, or face extinction. You have one planetary rotation to comply." Maya allowed herself a small smile. The Vraxians' message confirmed everything her analysis had suggested. They were logical, methodical, and utterly unprepared for what humanity had become. "Send no response," she ordered, already formulating a plan that would have seemed insane to anyone without her enhanced cognitive capabilities. Lieutenant Chen accessed the classified files on Project Prometheus. Authorization Rodriguez Alpha 70. Chen's eyes widened as the classified data appeared on his screen. Project Prometheus had been Maya's own initiative, developed in secret using the unique insights her enhanced mind provided. It was theoretically possible, but the energy requirements alone would have made it seem impossible to anyone working with standard human cognitive capabilities. "Captain, even if we could generate that kind of quantum field, the calculations required to maintain it would be beyond human capability." Maya finished for him. "But I'm not exactly human anymore, am I?" She turned to face her crew, these men and women who represented the best of unmodified humanity. They'd followed her through countless battles, trusting in abilities they couldn't fully understand. Now she would ask them to trust her one more time. "The Vraxians think they know what humanity is capable of. They've studied our technology, analyzed our military capabilities, and concluded that we're inferior, but they've made one critical mistake." She paused, letting her augmented gaze meet each crew member's eyes. "They don't understand that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our ability to transcend our limitations." Maya accessed the station's mainframe through her neural interface, beginning the complex calculations that would be required for her plan. To her enhanced mind, the mathematics unfolded like a beautiful symphony, each equation building upon the last in perfect harmony. "Begin power diversion to the quantum core," she ordered, "and prepare the prototype quantum field generator. We're going to show our visitors why they should have studied their history more carefully." "Which part of history, Captain?" Chen asked, already working to comply with her orders. Maya's smile widened slightly. "The part where every civilization that's ever underestimated humanity has lived to regret it. The Vraxians think they're dealing with a primitive species bound by conventional physics. Let's show them what happens when humanity decides to rewrite the rules." As her crew rushed to implement her orders, Maya continued her calculations, her enhanced mind working at speeds that would have seemed miraculous even a decade ago. The Vraxians had brought their perfect formations and superior technology, confident in their victory. They were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in our ships or our weapons, but in our refusal to accept the impossible as a limitation. The Vraxian fleet's advance was precisely what Maya's enhanced mind had predicted: methodical, calculated, and utterly predictable. Through the quantum sensors of Orbital Defense Station Artemis, she watched their ships move in perfect geometric patterns, each vessel maintaining exact distances from its neighbors. "They're launching their first wave," Lieutenant Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. 300 smaller vessels breaking formation. Maya nodded, her augmented eyes tracking each ship's trajectory. The Vraxians were following standard combat doctrine, overwhelming force applied with mathematical precision. But mathematics had never been able to fully account for human ingenuity. "Begin power transfer to the quantum core," she ordered. "Redirect all non-essential systems to Project Prometheus." Warning indicators flashed across the command center's displays as power began flowing into the experimental device Maya had designed. The station's AI voiced its concerns immediately. "Warning: power levels exceeding recommended safety parameters. Core containment at risk. Override safety protocols," Maya commanded. "Authorization Rodriguez final override." Her crew exchanged nervous glances, but none protested. They'd learned to trust their captain's enhanced judgment, even when her plans seemed to defy conventional wisdom. The quantum core's hum grew louder, its pitch rising as it absorbed more power than it had been designed to handle. The first wave of Vraxian ships entered weapons range, their energy weapons charging with a signature that Maya's enhanced senses could detect even at this distance. She allowed herself a small smile. They were following exactly the pattern she'd predicted. "Incoming transmission from the Vraxian command ship," Chen announced. The crystalline form of the Vraxian commander appeared once again in the holographic display. "Your time has expired. You have chosen extinction." Maya stepped forward, finally choosing to respond. "Actually, we've chosen to teach you something about human nature." The alien's crystalline features showed no emotion, but its response carried a note of what might have been confusion. "Your species has already been evaluated. You have nothing to teach us. That's the problem with relying too heavily on mathematical certainty," Maya replied. "You miss the variables you don't know to calculate for." She turned to her crew. "Activate Project Prometheus." The quantum core's hum reached a fever pitch as the device Maya had designed came online. To most of her crew, the mathematics behind it would have seemed like magic, a way of manipulating quantum fields that should have been theoretically impossible. But Maya's enhanced mind could see the patterns, could understand how to weave the fabric of reality in ways that conventional physics said couldn't be done. The Vraxian ships opened fire, their energy weapons lancing out in perfect synchronization. But instead of impacting the station's shields, the beams simply disappeared. "Quantum field stable," Chen reported, his voice tight with concentration. "But we can't maintain this level of power output for long." Maya was already moving, her enhanced mind processing battlefield dynamics faster than any computer. "We don't need long. Execute maneuver Theta 7. The station's maneuvering thrusters fired in a sequence that would have seemed random to anyone but Maya. Each burst was precisely calculated to take advantage of the quantum field she created, a field that didn't just deflect energy, but redirected it. The Vraxian weapons fire continued, each beam vanishing into what appeared to be nothing. But Maya could see what was really happening through her augmented vision. The energy wasn't disappearing. It was being collected, concentrated, and redirected through quantum-scale wormholes her device had created. "They're launching a second wave," Chen announced. 500 more ships moving into attack formation. "Perfect," Maya said, her enhanced mind already calculating the final variables. "They're still thinking in terms of conventional warfare. Lieutenant, prepare to execute the final phase of Project Prometheus." The Vraxian commander's image appeared again, its crystalline features showing the first signs of uncertainty. "Our sensors detect anomalous quantum signatures from your station." "Explain." "I told you that you had something to learn about human nature," Maya responded. "We don't just adapt to overcome our limitations, we transcend them entirely. Your weapons fire hasn't been disappearing. We've been storing it." She nodded to Chen, who activated the final sequence. The quantum field surrounding the station shifted, and suddenly all the collected energy from the Vraxian weapons fire had new targets, the second wave of approaching ships. The aliens' own energy, redirected through Maya's impossible quantum matrices, lashed out at their fleet. Ships began disappearing in cascading explosions as their own power was turned against them. The perfect formation that had seemed so imposing now worked against them, each destroyed vessel contributing to a chain reaction of destruction. "Impossible," the Vraxian commander stated, its translated voice carrying genuine emotion for the first time. "The energy requirements alone would be beyond any normal human's ability to calculate." Maya finished for it. "But I'm what humanity becomes when we refuse to accept limitations. Your evaluation of our species was flawed because you can only understand what you can quantify. But humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to achieve the impossible." The remaining Vraxian ships began to retreat, their perfect formation dissolving into chaos as Maya's quantum field continued to redirect their own energy against them. But she wasn't finished teaching them about humanity yet. "Send a message to their command ship," she ordered. "Tell them that we'll accept their surrender, and in return, we'll teach them something even more valuable than military victory." "What's that, Captain?" Chen asked. Maya's enhanced vision tracked the retreating alien fleet, her mind already calculating how to turn this confrontation into an opportunity for both species. "We'll teach them how to transcend their own limitations, because that's another thing about humanity they didn't account for. We don't just overcome our enemies. When possible, we transform them into allies." The quantum core's hum began to subside as the immediate threat passed, but Maya's enhanced mind was already working on the next phase of her plan. The Vraxians had come seeking to conquer a species they believed inferior. They would leave having learned that humanity's true strength lay not in our technology or our weapons, but in our fundamental drive to push beyond what others considered possible. The command center of Orbital Defense Station Artemis had transformed into a unique intersection of human and Vraxian technology. After their initial defeat, a delegation of the crystalline aliens had accepted Maya's offer of cooperation, though with obvious reluctance. Their towering forms moved through the station with rigid precision, their crystalline features reflecting the soft blue glow of holographic displays. Maya stood at the central console, her enhanced mind processing the stream of data from both human and Vraxian sensors. The quantum field generator she designed continued to hum softly, maintaining a protective barrier around Earth that incorporated principles from both species' technologies. "Their understanding of quantum mechanics is fascinating," she said to Lieutenant Chen, who was working alongside a Vraxian scientist named Xar. "But they've been limited by their own certainty." The Vraxians' crystalline form shifted slightly. What Maya had learned was their equivalent of disagreement. "Our understanding is based on mathematical precision," Xar stated. "Your species relies too heavily on intuition." Maya smiled, her augmented eyes tracking patterns in the data that even her enhanced mind needed time to fully comprehend. Mathematics is a tool for understanding reality, not a constraint on what's possible. Watch. She interfaced directly with the station's systems, her neural connections allowing her to manipulate the quantum field in ways that made the Vraxian scientists' crystalline forms vibrate with what she now recognized as agitation. The field shifted, its properties changing in ways that their equations said should be impossible. By your calculations, this configuration should collapse immediately, she noted. Yet it's stable. Do you know why? Khazar and the other Vraxian scientists huddled around their own instruments, their crystalline forms reflecting light in complex patterns as they communicated rapidly in their native language. Finally, Khazar responded, "Our equations are perfect. The field should not maintain cohesion under these conditions. Your equations are perfect for a universe that operates exactly as you expect it to," Maya corrected gently. But reality is more complex than any single set of equations can fully capture. Humans learned long ago that when reality disagrees with our theories, it's our theories that need to change. She gestured to the holographic display, where the quantum field continued to operate in its supposedly impossible configuration. This field is stable because it incorporates principles your science hasn't discovered yet, not because you're not capable of discovering them, but because your certainty in your existing knowledge prevented you from looking for them. The command center's alert system suddenly flashed red, interrupting the impromptu physics lesson. Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew across his console. "Captain, we're detecting quantum signatures at the edge of the solar system. It's the rest of the Vraxian fleet." Maya's enhanced senses immediately began analyzing the new data. The approaching force dwarfed even the previous fleet. Over 2,000 ships arranged in formations that her augmented mind recognized as far more aggressive than before. "They're not happy about our cooperation," Khazar stated, their crystalline form dulling slightly, an expression of concern. "The collective believes your species has corrupted our understanding of universal laws." "No," Maya replied, already formulating a new strategy. "We've expanded it, and now we're going to prove it." She turned to address both her human crew and the Vraxian scientists. "What we achieved with the quantum field was just the beginning. Together, we can do more than redirect energy. We can rewrite the rules of engagement entirely." She interfaced with the station's systems again, this time incorporating the insights she'd gained from studying Vraxian technology. The quantum core's hum changed pitch as new possibilities opened up before her enhanced mind. "Your fleet believes they're coming to correct a mathematical error," she said to Khazar. "But what they're really doing is giving us an opportunity to demonstrate something fundamental about the universe, that cooperation can achieve things that conflict never could." The holographic displays filled with new equations as Maya's enhanced mind combined human intuition with Vraxian precision. The quantum field began to shift again, but this time it wasn't just redirecting energy. It was creating something entirely new. "Captain," Chen reported, his voice tense, "the approaching fleet is charging weapons. Their energy signatures are unlike anything we've seen before." Maya nodded, unsurprised. "They've adapted their technology based on our previous encounter. But they're still thinking in terms of opposition rather than synthesis." She turned to Khazar. "Your people believe in the perfection of mathematics. Help me show them that perfection isn't about being unchanging. It's about being able to grow." The Vraxian scientists studied the equations flowing across the displays, their crystalline form gradually brightening as understanding dawned. "These patterns, they incorporate principles from both our sciences. You've found a way to demonstrate that neither of our species has a monopoly on truth," Maya finished. "Together, we can achieve things that neither of us could manage alone. The question is, will you help me prove it to your fleet?" Khazar's form pulsed with light as they made their decision. "The mathematics is beautiful, different from anything in our archives, yet undeniably correct." They turned to their fellow scientists, who all indicated agreement in their own crystalline way. "We will assist." Maya smiled as she began implementing the next phase of her plan. The approaching Vraxian fleet thought they were coming to correct a deviance from their mathematical certainty. Instead, they were about to witness the birth of an entirely new understanding of the universe, one born from the combination of human creativity and Vraxian precision. Lieutenant Chen, begin power transfer to the modified quantum core. Khazar, have your team ready to synchronize your quantum harmonics with our field generators. We're about to show both our species what's possible when we stop trying to prove who's right and start exploring what we can discover together. The command center hummed with activity as humans and Vraxians worked side by side, preparing to face a force that sought to end their cooperation. But Maya's enhanced mind could already see the outcome, not a victory of one species over another, but a transformation that would change both forever. The vast Vraxian fleet emerged from quantum space like a crystalline storm, their ships refracting sunlight in patterns that Maya's enhanced vision found both beautiful and deadly. Through the quantum sensors of Station Artemis, she could detect the complex energy signatures of their upgraded weapons, a direct response to her previous strategy. "They've modified their entire fleet's weapon systems," Lieutenant Chen reported, his voice tight. "Our previous quantum field configuration won't be effective against these new frequencies." "They're adapting," Maya noted with approval. "Good. That means they can learn." She turned to Khazar, whose crystalline form pulsed with increasing frequency, a sign of agitation. "Your people pride themselves on perfect adaptation, don't they? Our responses are mathematically optimal." The Vraxian scientist confirmed. "The fleet's new configuration represents the most efficient counter to your previous strategy." Maya's enhanced mind processed this information, seeing patterns within patterns. But that's exactly why they're going to fail. They're still thinking in terms of counters and opposition, not synthesis and transcendence. The main view screen flickered as the Vraxian fleet's commander forced a communication channel open. The crystalline being that appeared was larger than Khazar, its form latticed with complex patterns that Maya's enhanced vision recognized as signs of high rank. "This is High Commander Vex of the Vraxian Collective. Your corruption of our scientific principles ends now. Surrender the renegade scientists and prepare for integration." Maya stepped forward, her augmented eyes meeting the commander's crystalline gaze. "Your scientists aren't renegades, Commander. They're pioneers. They've helped us discover something far more valuable than military victory." "Our equations are perfect," Vex stated. "Your human intuition is a flaw that must be corrected." "Perfection isn't static," Maya countered. "True perfection includes the capacity for growth." She nodded to Khazar, who began implementing the changes they'd developed together. "Let us show you." The quantum core of Station Artemis hummed to life, but this time it was different. The human design technology pulsed in perfect harmony with Vraxian quantum matrices, creating something entirely new. Maya's enhanced mind guided the process, weaving together principles from both species into a synthesis that defied conventional understanding. "Multiple energy signatures detected," Chen announced. "The fleet is preparing to fire." "Perfect timing," Maya responded. "Khazar, initiate the quantum resonance field." The space around Station Artemis began to shimmer as the combined human-Vraxian technology came online. The first volley from the fleet struck not a barrier, but something far more sophisticated, a field that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously, incorporating both human creativity and Vraxian precision. "Impossible," High Commander Vex stated, his crystalline form vibrating with what might have been shock. "Our sensors indicate this defies all known laws of quantum mechanics." "No," Maya corrected. "It expands them. What you're seeing isn't a violation of universal laws. It's a deeper understanding of them. Your scientists helped us achieve this. Together, we've discovered principles that neither of our species could have found alone." The quantum field around the station wasn't just defending against the fleet's attacks, it was transforming them. Each energy blast that struck the field was reconstructed at the quantum level, its destructive potential converted into something new. The field is stable, Kazar reported, their crystalline form glowing with excitement. The mathematical patterns, they're beyond anything in our archives, yet they're undeniably correct. Maya nodded, her enhanced mind already seeing the next phase. That's because they're not just mathematical patterns. They're a new language, one that speaks of possibilities instead of limitations. She turned back to the view screen. Commander Vex, look at your sensor readings. What we've created here isn't a weapon. It's a doorway to understanding the universe in ways neither of our species imagined possible. The Vraxian fleet's attacks had ceased as their sensors struggled to process what they were witnessing. The quantum field wasn't just deflecting their energy weapons. It was restructuring reality itself on a fundamental level, creating patterns that were simultaneously precise enough to satisfy Vraxian mathematics and flexible enough to accommodate human intuition. Your own scientists have verified the mathematics, Maya continued. What we've achieved here isn't a corruption of your principles, it's an evolution of them. We've found a way to combine the best aspects of both our species. Your precision, our creativity. Your mathematical certainty, our ability to imagine beyond known limits. She gestured to the field surrounding the station, where the transformed energy from the fleet's weapons now danced in patterns that told a story of cooperation rather than conflict. You came here believing that humanity needed to be corrected or destroyed. Instead, you've discovered that we have something to offer that your equations never predicted. The ability to see beyond the boundaries of what we think is possible. The command center fell silent as High Commander Vex processed this information. Maya's enhanced mind could detect subtle changes in the crystalline being structure, signs of deep cognitive restructuring that she recognized from working with Xar and the other scientists. The patterns, Vex finally said, their tone carrying a new note of uncertainty. They are beautiful. Beauty often lies in the synthesis of seemingly opposing forces, Maya replied. Your fleet represents the pinnacle of Vraxian military power, but what we've created here, together, represents something far more powerful, the ability to transcend our own limitations through cooperation. She turned to Xar and the other Vraxian scientists, whose crystalline forms now pulsed in harmony with the quantum field. The choice before you isn't between victory and defeat, Commander. It's between remaining bound by what you think is possible or joining us in discovering what actually is. 1 month after the confrontation at Station Artemis, the combined Human-Vraxian Research Center hummed with activity. The station had been transformed, its corridors now housing laboratories where crystalline beings worked alongside humans, each bringing their unique perspectives to unlock the mysteries of the universe. Maya stood at the central observation deck, her enhanced vision taking in the sight of Earth below and the Vraxian ships, now peacefully orbiting alongside human vessels. The quantum field they'd created still shimmered faintly around the station, but it had evolved into something far more sophisticated than a mere defensive measure. The latest test results are ready, Captain, Lieutenant Chen announced as he entered, followed by Xar and High Commander Vex, who had chosen to remain at the station to personally oversee the collaboration. The quantum resonance patterns continue to exceed our original projections, Xar added, their crystalline form gleaming with what Maya had learned to recognize as excitement. What we theorized about reality reconstruction at the quantum level, it's only the beginning. Maya nodded, her enhanced mind already processing the implications. The defensive field they'd created had led to discoveries that neither species had imagined possible. By combining Vraxian mathematical precision with human intuition and creativity, they'd begun to understand the universe in entirely new ways. The collective has reviewed our findings, Vex announced, their once rigid crystalline structure now showing subtle variations that indicated growing adaptability. They have officially recognized this collaboration as the most significant advancement in our species' history. Because you were willing to look beyond mathematical certainty, Maya responded. And we were willing to ground our intuition in precision. Together, We're achieving what neither of us could have imagined alone. She interfaced with the station's systems through her neural link, bringing up a holographic display of their latest project. The quantum patterns danced in the air, showing how they were learning to manipulate reality itself at its most fundamental level. What had started as a defense against weapons fire had evolved into technology that could reshape matter, create new forms of energy, and potentially even alter the fabric of space-time itself. The other human enhancement projects are showing promising results as well, Chen reported. Using the principles we've learned here, we're finding ways to improve the process that created you, Captain, making it safer, more reliable. And more importantly, Kilar added, we're learning how to enhance minds without losing what makes them unique. The mathematics of consciousness itself is proving far more beautiful than we ever imagined. Maya smiled, remembering how far they'd come from that first confrontation. Because we've learned that true advancement doesn't come from overwhelming force or perfect equations. It comes from understanding that different perspectives aren't flaws to be corrected. They're opportunities to discover something new. The station's quantum core pulsed softly, its energy now integrated with Vraxian technology in ways that would have seemed impossible just a month ago. Through the viewport, Maya could see ships arriving from both Earth and the Vraxian homeworld, scientists, diplomats, and engineers eager to be part of this unprecedented collaboration. We've received word from both Earth's government and the collective, Vex announced. They've approved the expansion of this facility into a full-scale joint research institution, the first of many planned collaborative projects between our species. Because we've proven that strength isn't about domination, Maya observed. It's about having the courage to reach beyond what we think we know. She turned to face the assembled group, her enhanced vision taking in both human and Vraxian forms. We came to the brink of war because both our species thought we had nothing to learn from each other. Now we're on the brink of a revolution in our understanding of the universe itself. And it all started because one enhanced human refused to accept conventional limitations, Chen added with a smile. Maya shook her head. No, it started because both our species finally understood that the greatest enhancement isn't to our bodies or our equations, it's to our perspective, the willingness to see beyond our own certainties and imagine new possibilities. The quantum field rippled slightly, responding to changes in the ongoing experiments throughout the station. Maya's enhanced mind could see the patterns forming, not just in the field, but in the future they were building together. What had begun as a confrontation between species had transformed into something far more powerful, a partnership that promised to reshape their understanding of reality itself. The collective has a saying, Vex offered, their crystalline form refracting light in complex patterns. The perfect equation is eternal. But now we understand that perfection isn't about being unchanging. It's about having the capacity to grow. And humanity has always believed that our greatest strength lies not in what we are, but in what we can become, Maya responded. Together, we're proving that the true legacy of strength isn't in victory over others, but in learning to transcend our own limitations through cooperation. As if to emphasize her words, the quantum field pulsed with new patterns, neither purely human nor purely Vraxian, but something entirely new. A testament to what was possible when different species chose to grow together rather than compete, to learn from each other rather than seek dominance. The legacy they were creating wasn't just about new technology or scientific discoveries. It was about proving that the greatest achievements don't come from overwhelming force or perfect precision, but from the willingness to imagine beyond what either side thought possible. In the end, humanity's greatest strength hadn't been in defeating the Vraxians, but in helping them, and ourselves, transform into something greater than we had been before.